Hello everyone and welcome to my new YouTube video. Today I want to talk to you about something very important to me, and it is cosmetical surgery or plastic surgery, all of that. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I believe that there is a huge normalization towards this topic and that it influences many teenagers out there, and I don't think that this influence is very good for us as a society, and I would just like to clarify some things about this. And I'm not a doctor, I'm not a surgeon, I'm not nothing in that topic. I'm just literally a teenager who's almost 16 and who has had some contacts with this topic, and I've heard some very shocking things from my other people around me my age, and I just want to say something. This is just a video of me rambling about it. Like, I don't have any real structure. I'm gonna put a link to some videos in my video description. Some of them are in German, some of them in English, so yeah. I would really want you to watch this video if you're thinking about something like this already, if you're having body struggles, and yeah, just tag along and have fun. Hi, this is a trigger warning about the topic of eating disorder. I talk about it a little bit in this video, and that's why I wanted to give you this warning. And please stay healthy and get some help if you need it. Okay, so where do I start? Basically, what I'm criticizing is not necessarily about having a cosmetical surgery or a plastic surgery. It's all fine. Like, sometimes it has to happen, you know? What I'm criticizing is the normalization of it and how the influence is towards many young people. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself. I've always been that kind of girl who was like naturally skinny and who was like all fine with my body. I was never underweight, I was never overweight, all good. I was very fit and sporty, and I still am today. But I've still struggle with my body image, even though many people were like, oh my god, you have such a nice body, you look so pretty and all of that. I was still like just pretty much focusing on the things, on the people who said to me, oh my god, you have small boobs, you have a small butt, all of that. And even some people my age told me this. Like, it's a kind of a thing between other teenagers. Like, this is just a random or normal topic already to talk about. And also with me about my lips or my nose, I've always thought like, oh my god, my nose, it's not like as pretty as from some celebrity. I don't have that small little nose that's just like a very tip. It has a cute tip. I don't have the biggest lips on earth. And by now I've learned it's fine. But there were moments, and there probably still will be moments, where I stand in front of my mirror and be like this and just like form in some way, or my lips put them up like this. And I was like, oh yeah, I think maybe when I get older I'm gonna do something. Like, why? My nose is perfectly fine to breathe, my lips are perfectly fine, I can speak well, it's all good. And honestly, I believe that these struggles wouldn't be here without social media. But the thing with social media is the thing I really want to discuss in another video as well. My personal experiences from it, that it's not as pretty, not as perfect as it seems to be. Let's talk about how the body image and how everything that looks pretty has changed over the years. And my best example for this are eyebrows. A few years ago, or maybe in the 2000s, it was very chic or very trendy to have like these thin eyebrows, and everyone was like what is it called? Plugging their eyebrows. Tucking, plugging, something like that. You know what I mean. And and then they had like these thin eyebrows, just like I believe Paris Hilton, for example, who had that. I'm gonna insert a picture of this. But you know what I mean. Then over the years, in maybe 2016, we've had these block eyebrows, you know, looking like this, and with heavy makeup. It's where it was really uncool if you had like teeny tiny eyebrows. Now we have these big bushy eyebrows, and everyone's like trying to grow their eyebrows and have whatever, and lifting them just like that. And with eyebrows, it's already like the thing. This is not a huge cosmetical action that you do, but this is just to show you how the body image has changed. And many people I know these days, they regret having plucked their eyebrows because they never grow back. Or they grow back, but like not really that good. And now, translated to cosmetical surgery, having eyebrows grow back is much easier than removing your fillers or Botox and some silicone and all of that. It's much easier. In fact, it doesn't take another surgery. But there are some things where I'm just like, I don't know. It's like an ever-changing process with this beauty industry, and we're even at this point, we're laughing about things that we thought were trendy 2 years ago. So you can see how fast this changes. And what I believe is not talked enough about are the risks that you have with a cosmetical surgery. A cosmetical surgery actually is a very dangerous thing because a lot can happen. For example, the best example for this is honestly the Brazilian butt lift. I mean, first of all, butt. Like, the only thing that your butt is supposed to do is to make you sit and to poop. That's it. Like, your butt doesn't have any other function. And suddenly we're at a point where we're taking fat from our body parts and we're putting it into our butt. And we're risking our lives for that because 1 in 3,000 surgeries ends up dying, in death. You don't talk about this. We're all doing this for a big butt. Like, I've seen a video about a German influencer a few days ago, and she was 19 years old. She already had done her nose and her teeth, and I don't know if she did her lips already. I don't know. But then she decided to do her butt at the age of 19. And a Brazilian butt lift, for example, is... I don't get it. Like, does a big butt make you a better person? I don't know. Anyways, so, and then someone else who did this at a very young age, she was also like, yeah, you have to do this 2 or 3 times, and I'm gonna for sure do it when I have my kids and all of that. And just imagine, so when you do it 2 to 3 times, the chance is not 1 in 3,000 anymore, it's 1 in 1,000. And when I think of the number of 1,000, I think of the people who go in my school, which is roughly 1,000 people. So that means that one of these students, they would die for having a bigger butt. But when you die, your bigger butt won't matter anymore because you're dead. Okay? And I don't know. I don't see anything positive in having a bigger butt, and not even like Instagram is an option for this, because Instagram, we don't know how long Instagram is gonna exist, how long these trends are gonna stay, and I have no idea. Like, if you want to have a bigger butt, even though Photoshop isn't good, absolutely not, then I don't know, put some pillow under your pants, but please don't risk your life. And if you still choose to do that, don't promote it on social media, because what these people, these influencers never mention, they mention their doctor, they mention how good it was and where they went, and that everything was all fine and that they feel amazing right now. But they never mention that they actually just risked their lives for a big butt. And that's my problem, you know? If you want to tell a story, then tell the full story. Be like completely honest, okay? And very shocking thing that I've heard in a German documentary about this. A person who did this actually had to write their testament before she did that surgery at the age of, I don't know how old she was, 30 maybe younger. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Then the next thing is boobs, big boobs. We've seen it like having this hourglass shape, just having big boobs, big butt, wide hips, small, teeny tiny waist, and the big boobs. I don't know if it's just like me, but for me, the boobs are only there one day for possibly feeding a child. You don't have to get a child, not saying that, but like, that's it. And your baby's not going to care whether you have big boobs or small boobs. Your baby just wants the breast milk. That's about it. And no one else has to do something with your boobs because it's yours. That's the only practical thing they're here for. Like, they don't do anything just like your fingers or so do. And if someone comes up to you and tells you, oh my god, you have small boobs, you should do something about it, you look ugly, they don't have anything to do with that. Like, it's not their boobs. Especially if a guy comes up to you and is like, oh my god, I like girls with big boobs and all of that. They should please get big boobs for themselves. Like, don't try to influence someone else on that. But like, isn't it ridiculous that you just want someone to have a certain body type even though you don't have it yourself and you don't know what it's like to live with it and so on? And the thing with big boobs, I don't have anything about, like, again, as I said, surgery that's necessarily, for example, when you have a nose that you can really breathe through, and then it obviously also changes the optics. Or when you have like big boobs and your back hurts, totally fine, do something about it. If it's for your health, do it. But a cosmetical surgery won't also solve your health problems. That's also a thing. They were like, oh my god, we should it's such a feminist thing having, like, supporting these surgeries, and isn't it amazing that we can explore ourselves? And I do like the fact that you invest in your body, because your body is a thing you should be very careful with and that you should really look after. So investing in it, it's fine, but you should much rather invest time and love in it instead of money and plastic, okay? I don't get it. Why? Just like big boobs, are you gonna be happier? Maybe for a moment, but we all have what I always remember is one day we're all gonna be crumply old grandmas who have boobs that stand here and who have cellulite, because cellulite is a very common thing. You have loose skin, and you can do, no matter how many surgeries you go under and how many Botox treatments you get and how many anti-aging creams you use, you're still gonna be old and crumbly. That's it. That's like, I don't know. We're all gonna end up dying. Again, once you're dead, no, you're not gonna care about this. And I believe once you're an old grandma, it's not the thing as well. But yeah. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is, for example, thigh gaps and hip dips. For me, the best example, these are the Kardashians and the Jenners. And I've actually found yesterday an amazing picture of Bella Hadid, who shows this perfectly. I'm gonna insert that picture here. It's about hip dips. Hip dips, if you don't know what that is, lucky for you. I remember my first confrontation with it was about 2 or 3 years ago when a friend of mine was like, oh my god, I'm so jealous, you don't really have hip dips. And I was like, what's that? And she was like, yeah, well, I have hip dips, you don't, or you just like have it slightly. And in fact, it's when your body, when you go from your hip to your legs and from your waist, all of that. And hip dips are when your shape goes like this. Let's just say here are the hips, and you go like this. Okay? And what we often think of is having that perfectly round figure. Yeah, figure. When we think about hip dips, you'd be like, oh my god, they're ugly. And why are hip dips even there? It's because of working, it's when you work out a lot, or when it's just like your bone structure at this point. It's your bone structure, it's the way your skeleton looks. And why did I say that the Kardashians are the best example for this? You always see the Kardashians working out like crazy. Like, really, if I had that much energy and power, I would be amazing. But they work out and have big butts, but they don't have hip dips. Like, and from working out, we all know that when you work out and do your butt, it naturally grows because you gain muscles and that. But these hip dips, they are a thing that come natural with it, and they don't have it because you can actually, like, just like the Brazilian butt lift, and that's part of the Brazilian butt lift, insert your fat down there so that's round. So hip dips are actually a sign sometimes of being very healthy and being very sporty, which is good. And it's nothing ugly. It's just normal result. Just like when you train your arms, you get muscles here. Hip dips are a normal result of working out for your butt. Okay? And then thigh gaps are also not a thing that shows, oh my god, you're so fat if you don't have them, or you're so skinny if you have them, because it's again the bone structure. We have hips, and on these hips attached are our legs. And some of us naturally have wider hips, some of us have tighter hips. So when your hips are naturally built tighter, your legs are also built closer. If you have wider hip, your legs are built further apart. And I'm going to insert a picture of Kendall Jenner here. I don't know, this picture just, of course Kendall Jenner is considered being naturally very skinny, but this thigh gap, it's not realistic. Like, it's not. You can't have, like, it looks like as if in my entire hand, you know, like that space. It doesn't happen. Hi, so I'm editing this video right now, and I've done some research, and there are several people who've tried to achieve this trend and ended up having an eating disorder. So please watch out for yourself. And the weirdest thing I found is that there is jewelry for your thigh gaps. This is not normal. This is not real. Like, please watch out for yourself, and wearing jewelry in between your thighs is also not the thing. Okay, bye. So you can only, with that thing, you can just be like, okay, you take some liposuction and then you take it out, fat from the inner thighs, and maybe put it to your butt. Okay? And yes, her hips are also built further apart. That's why her legs are like this. But there are some people who are overweight, whose hips are built further apart, and who have a thigh gap even though they are overweight. And there are people, for example, like me, who are not overweight, whose hips are just smaller, and who do not really have a thigh gap. Like, maybe you see something, but like it's not really there, because that's just the way my body is built. And these are all things, and like, I don't, honestly, this doesn't do anything with my health. I'm still healthy. It's nothing bad, okay? The next example that I literally want to give you, and we're coming towards an end of this video, even though it's been very chaotic, I know that. Let's compare ourselves to fishes. It's very random, but we have an ocean full of plastic. We all know that. And there are fishes who may eat that plastic, and it ends up in their stomach. There's a little bit of plastic. They could die, but they also could not. There's like lots of plastic. The chance of them dying gets bigger, but in general, plastic doesn't make the fish healthier. That's for sure. So if plastic doesn't belong in an animal like a fish, why would it belong in an animal like a human? It doesn't. That's the thing. And to continue with this example, we always be like, okay, yeah, we should be more careful not throwing plastic into our oceans, and, you know, just doing something good for the nature. But putting plastic in your body and then getting buried one day when you die, that has the same effect, okay? just like that. And lastly, hyaluron does not leave. That's actually one of the best things I've heard. You know, when you put lip fillers or general fillers on your face, people be like, oh yeah, you have to do this like every 3 to 6 months because it leaves. If it would leave, if plastic would just like disappear like that, why would we even care about the nature? Like, why would we even start something like Fridays for Future? Why would we even, you know, spend a thought on not destroying our oceans if plastic would just disappear like this? Because it does not. Surprise. Plastic is actually one of the materials that will stay for the longest time, for hundreds of years and not even thousands of years, because that's the way plastic is. It's something doesn't just like be like poof and it's gone. Same happens with the fillers. They might, yes, you might, some of them might not stay like this because of gravity. So you put something like in here, it ends up going down there because we have a gravity. This gravity actually makes us stay on the ground. That's the reason why we can live on Earth, why this pillow is actually like this, right? Falls down, just like hyaluron in your face does, okay? Okay, this video is already very long. I'm gonna try to cut out something, even though I want to keep it a little bit uncut. And I would really want to read some comments and discussions about this in the comments and your opinion. And if you've also seen lots of people out there, like lots of young people out there who are already thinking about cosmetical and plastic surgery, please do that. And if I can give you one advice, first of all, or two. First of all, go off of social media. That's number one. And you should really think who actually around you has done any plastic and cosmetical surgery, and if they did, why they did it, okay? Because you're gonna find out that on Instagram, probably like every second influencer has done something to their face. But in real life, they haven't. And we should stop comparing ourselves as teenagers to people who are 10, 15, or 20 years older than we are, because they have a completely different life situation. If I think where my mom was at 26, 10 years older than I was, she already had a child. She was married. So we can't compare ourselves to someone who's much older, whose life situation might be completely different. Okay, so this is everything I'm gonna say. Please leave me a comment in the section, and just also leave this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel. I talk about music, books, and lifestyle topics like this. And just follow me on my journey. See you next time. Bye. Mwah.